Hey there guys, this is Chef Chris, and today we are making California style sushi rolls. I know it sounds intimidating to make sushi, but you know, it's very simple. As long as you have time, that's all you need. It's quite simple. The thing that takes most is the rice. So let's get started. Alright, so in a bowl, we have sushi rice. I used 3 of the cups that came inside of my rice cooker. Make sure you go to any Asian store, find sushi rice. It shouldn't be hard at all to find. Alright, so we're going to soak this. That's a big thing you need to do. Remember to soak it. Not soak it, you're actually going to rinse off all this cloudy whiteness. As you can see, I'm rubbing the grains across each other, giving it a nice swirl. As you can tell, the water has almost become milky, cloudy. We're going to pour that out. We're going to keep following these steps about 3 or 4 times. It only took me 4 times with my rice. I got a bag of rice that said you didn't have to wash it. But when I actually did wash it, it did seem cloudy. So I just suggest washing it no matter what. You're going to keep repeating this step until the water becomes pretty clear. And as you can tell on this step right here, it was pretty clear enough for me for sure. You don't need to do it anymore after that. I threw mine in the rice cooker. Like I said, I cheated. It's very simple. If you have one of these, you guys know how great it is to make rice. If you don't, throw it in a pot. 2 cups of rice with 3 cups of water. Pour that in there, bring it to a boil. Once it starts boiling, cover it. Turn the heat down to low and simmer that for 20 minutes. Don't uncover it when it's done. Just like the rice cooker, leave it on for another 15 to 20 minutes and it'll be done. All right, while that rice was cooking, we're gonna make some homemade, pickled ginger here. Mine wasn't pink. You know when you get them at the sushi store, it's pink. The only way they make it pink is by adding a little bit of drops of food coloring. To a saucepan, I added the rice vinegar. I'm actually using sushi vinegar, not seasoned rice vinegar. I found some sushi vinegar at the store. I threw that in the pan, just enough to cover it, with a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt. I didn't measure, I just added. Not a big deal with the pickling. Alright, now we're going to chop up our veggies. I'm making the California, which is the basic. So in the California comes, you know, cucumber, avocado, and crab meat. So this is the best way to slice a cucumber. Don't slice it in the center. I know some people slice it and then they use a melon baller to get all the seeds. I find this way works a lot better. As you can tell, I'm just going around the edges just to make sure. And it makes every slice precise and perfect instead of having a nice little hole in the center when you carve out the seeds. I don't like that. Now we got some crab meat. They use imitation crab meat. I got this also at the Asian store, and I sliced them into sticks as well. Now we have an avocado. I got a really nice ripened avocado. It's beautiful, as you can tell. We're gonna go and slice that in half. Go ahead and take out that pit, and with a spoon, some people slice it with the skin on. I like to take the skin off because I don't know if this avocado is perfect. Some of them have brown spots, and if you slice it with the skin, you're never going to know if the brown spots are there. As long as you put a little fresh lemon juice on there, you're not going to have to worry about any oxidation, any brown coloring. So go ahead and do that. Place them in the fridge, and those will be ready. When the rice was done, after I let it set another 20 minutes, I tossed it in a bowl. Now here's where it comes a little more difficult. I have a cup here. Actually, I have 1/3 of a cup of sushi vinegar, which is almost the same thing as seasoned rice vinegar. You can find that anywhere. We're going to go ahead and pour it in onto the rice. As you can tell, I'm pouring it on the spoon because if you pour it directly, you can have some spots with a lot of rice vinegar, some spots with not too much. You want to evenly distribute this rice vinegar. All right, now here comes the big thing. You can't just give it a stir. You have to slice through and cut through the rice, okay? That's a big step. Another big step, as you just saw, is a fan. You need a handheld fan. If you don't have a fan, use a piece of cardboard, use a Tupperware lid. You just want to make sure you're fanning this while you're slicing and cutting through the rice. As you can tell, I'm flipping. I'm going to flip each section individually. Flip and slice. Now I'm going to the left side. Flip and slice. Slice through. You're trying to get all that rice vinegar on every single little grain of rice. And when you do, it just becomes so shiny. You're going to notice a big shine. They break up individually. You don't want to squash them. All right, at this point, I let them, after I sliced everything, I let it sit and cool down. I'm still fanning though, okay? But every like 10-15 minutes, I gave it a nice little flip over to make sure the bottom side, which was hot still, became the top side so it can cool down with the fan. I'm still fanning, continue fanning. It's going to take like 20-30 minutes. But that's what you need to do to get this perfect sushi rice, okay? Once you have done that, as you can tell, look, every grain, it's so sticky. It's just so sticky. It's great. It's beautiful. And every grain has just plumped up. Every grain is separate. And it's awesome. All right, now we're going to start rolling. A big thing you need to do here is get a cup with water and a little bit of rice vinegar in there. That's going to prevent all that rice from sticking. If you don't do it, you're going to have a huge mess on your hands. It becomes way more difficult just to roll the sushi roll. But as long as you have it, as you can tell, my hands are a little wet here. I threw in a nice big glop of that sushi rice, and I'm just going to go ahead and separate. I'm patting it down, not too firm. You don't want to squash the rice. But just give it a nice little firm move. Incorporate it all onto the onto the seaweed. You need seaweed here. You also got a bamboo mat that I have here. You can find everything at any Asian market. All right, now I'm gonna do a basic basic roll. So I left the edges. I should have left a little more of that black on each edge. Okay, you don't want to entirely cover the seaweed. I'm gonna place a nice little crab meat roll right in the center. You don't want to cover all the edges because when you roll it, you don't want the rice to be showing. For this one, I'm going to do a separate one in a minute, and you will cover the whole entire thing. To that, I added the crab meat, like I said, a couple of nice sticks of the fresh cucumber, and we're going to throw on top the avocado. As you can tell, it's been sitting in the fridge for probably an hour, maybe less, 45, but there's no oxidation. As long as you throw that lemon juice on it, it'll prevent that. And that happens with a lot of fruit. You can even do that to apples. You could do it to just any fruit that turns brown when you let it sit out. So I'm going to adjust that seaweed wrap and pull it back to the bamboo. I placed all my vegetables not directly in the center, a little bit more closer to me. You couldn't tell in that shot, but it was a little closer to me. Basically, just going to give it a roll. This takes a little bit of practice. You're going to tuck. Actually, it don't took me. I learned it about pretty quickly because I I just have practice in rolling, I guess you could say. All right, so basically we're gonna roll. We're gonna give it a nice firm squeeze on the bamboo mat. Not too tough. You don't want the ingredients squeezing out of the side. You just want to feel a nice firm to get that. And you don't even have to squeeze it hard. The rice is so sticky, it's gonna hold together great. As you can tell, I'm done, and look at that, beautiful. Looks like I'm half Asian. All right, now to slice, this is very important as well. You need a very sharp knife. If you don't have a sharp knife, I sharpened mine for quite a while. It's gonna sink in. All your seaweed's gonna be, as you can tell, I got a beautiful straight line. That's important. Another important thing is to wipe off after each slice. You don't want all that rice. And if you didn't see there, I had a cup of hot water. That's gonna also help it guide through the seaweed, through the rice, and make a beautiful, perfect cut. That's what I'm aiming for, is presentation. That's a big thing. I didn't cut off the end. I didn't show a little video of me cutting off the end of that. I did cut off the end because I want them all to be perfect. As you can see, that sushi roll on the left. But I did cut off the end. I just didn't have a video of that. But a sharp knife, a glass of hot water, and a towel to wipe off your blade is very important. Now I'm going to show you guys the other way to do the sushi roll, which maybe some people like it a little better. I actually prefer the black on the outside, the seaweed wrap on the outside. But I basically covered the entire seaweed, every part, from edges to corner, every edge, okay? All right, I put that on the side. Now, to prevent the rice from sticking to the bamboo mat, we're going to use some cellophane wrap right here, just some plastic wrap. And we're going to grab that, and the rice is not going to fall off. It's no problem. It's so sticky that it's obviously stuck to the seaweed. We're going to throw that back on the bamboo mat. Throw the ingredients right in again, just making the basic one here. Tomorrow I'm making a nice little spicy tuna roll, which should be delicious. But we're going to do the exact same method as we did before. Tuck, make sure the ingredients are in the center. Actually, not the center, a little closer to you. Give it a nice firm squeeze. Continue the process. You can tell, look at that, it's beautiful. Looks like it just came out of a nice little sushi restaurant. It's gorgeous. I was very happy with these. All right, so after that, we're basically done. I went ahead and covered this one with a little bit of sesame seeds. You can't cover the other one because obviously there's no rice to stick to it. Again, a nice sharp knife, a nice glass of water, a clean towel. And when we were done, it was time to sample. I got that pickled ginger right there. I let that simmer and then I threw it on the side. I let it cool down in the fridge and it was delicious. I got some wasabi paste that I got at Walmart. And I'll just tell you, it was, I mean, who doesn't love sushi? It's one of my favorite meals. I'm sure it's one of your guys' too. I don't know why I threw the pickled ginger on a sushi roll. I actually eat it separate, but I was caught up in the moment. But oh, it was delicious. I love wasabi. It's one of my favorite. I love that feeling you get when you have too much wasabi. I don't know. Something's wrong with me, I think. But I love that feeling. Alright, guys. Well, that was my California sushi roll. If you guys have any other recipes you guys would like to learn how to make, let me know. And as always, guys, hope you enjoy.